The fact that there are still countries in Europe that have blasphemy laws is disgusting in and of itself. The fact that such laws are used to defend Islam's sensibilities is a scandal of biblical proportions. Let's explore. Hello everyone and welcome to the Freedom Alternative. Alright, one of the big problems in most of Europe is that freedom of speech is a luxury granted to individuals by the almighty government, instead of being an unalienable right inherent into all individuals, like it is the case with our friend and allies in the United States. That's why the United States is great and most of Europe is not. Coming from Jyllands-Posten, a 42-year-old man has been charged with blasphemy for burning the Quran. Short article in Danish, and it goes like this, quote, "The prosecution in the North Jutland police jurisdiction has indicted a 42-year-old man who in December 2015 published a video on Facebook in which he burns the Quran. The information was released in a statement of the Viborg Public Prosecutor's Office led by Jan Reckendorf. The Attorney General has agreed with the North Jutland Police to prosecute for violation of paragraph 140 of the Penal Code that deals with blasphemy. It is the prosecution's view that the circumstances of the burning of holy books like the Bible and the Quran may be a violation of the blasphemy clause, says Jan Reckendorf. According to the indictment, the 42-year-old burned an edition of the Quran in his backyard. He filmed the scene and published the video on December the 27th, 2015 on Facebook. The video was posted on the public group Yes to Freedom, No to Islam, and according to the indictment, he wrote the text for the video, "Think of your neighbor, it sucks when it burns." It is our opinion that the circumstances of this case implies that there should be a prosecution so that the courts now have the opportunity to decide the matter, says the Attorney General in the press release. The Attorney General referred the matter to the Prosecutor General, which has acceded to the decision to prosecute. The blasphemy paragraph in the Penal Code carries a maximum sentence of up to 4 months in prison, but the 42-year-old will not be put behind bars. If he is found guilty, the prosecutors require to have him fined. It is the first time since 1971 that an indictment for blasphemy has been granted, although previous attempts did exist but were denied. The previous attempts include the 2006 case when no grounds were found for bringing charges in connection with the famous Muhammad cartoons scandal. Seriously, Denmark? Seriously? So, let me get this straight. First you prosecute people who fight against the Islamic State. Then you provide welfare to actual Islamic State fighters. And now you prosecute someone for offending the tender sensibilities of the religion of pieces. Americans should take note of this. This awaits you folks too, should you ever be so dumb to vote in another Democrat who wants to make you more like Denmark or some other civilized Nordic country. Now, mind you, this is not specifically a Danish disease. Finland has similar kinds of nonsensical laws that it vigorously enforces. Last time it happened in 2008 with Jussi Halla, who later on became a member of the parliament. He was convicted of the criminal offense of blasphemy for his audacity to make the connection between pedophilia and Islam on his own blog. Norway still has the law on the books. Now granted, nobody has been prosecuted on it since 1933, but then again, nobody had been prosecuted in Denmark either for 46 years until it happened now. This is the problem with dormant laws. Just because they fall into desuetude, that doesn't mean they can't be dangerous. It basically leaves the door open for selective prosecution and state abuse, which is exactly what happened in this case. I mean, it's not like this is the only guy blaspheming Islam in Denmark or anything, but the state, through selective and random prosecutions, can and indeed does create a chilling effect. And make no mistake, this was put forward for chilling effect purposes. It's been over a year since his post, so why now? Why wait for so long? Now, one explanation could indeed be the long bureaucratic process, although over 14 months is a bit too long, if you ask me. The more realistic explanation is the state's attempt to curb the rising trend among the Danes who are being red-pilled by reality on what Islam means in practice. Islamocritic political parties appear literally out of nowhere, and it's not beyond imagination to think that after the next general elections, a coalition of Islamocritic parties would rule the country. And everyone knows it, including the Danish progressive deep state. In any event, I really do hope this guy gets acquitted and someone finds the balls to rescind this idiotic law and join the civilized 21st century where the feelings of religions aren't above criticism. The Christians and the Jews learn that not everyone agrees with them and that many people find their religion to be laughable and worthy of ridicule and contempt. It's time for Muslims to learn that too. The hard way if necessary. And if they don't like it, then they can kindly get out from Europe and back into the hellholes they crawled out from. I'm very, very serious with this. If you're so fragile that you can't tolerate ridicule of your ideas, then you are the problem. And the state should absolutely not protect your intolerance and your fragile sensibilities, but rather protect the rest of the society from your fragile sensibilities and your totalitarian urges. And this goes for all European countries who maintain such retarded crap into their laws, namely Poland, Germany, Italy, Finland, Greece, Ireland, and of course, Russia. This is insane. Such laws should not exist, and such prosecutions are the result of sick minds. Even more insane is to prosecute innocent people for burning a book written by a deranged pedophile in the 7th century. This was definitely not the intention of those who wrote the law, which likely had in mind to protect Christianity, and definitely not to protect the heathen faiths of barbarian invaders. This is not how you foster tolerance. Besides, who would want to foster tolerance for a totalitarian command and control supremacist belief like Islam? This is lunacy. And with that being said, thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon on Freedom Alternative.